Disability is a term which nobody wants to get associated with. There are different types of disabilities that affect many people. Learning disability is the most common type of disability.
Learning disabilities include reading disabilities, writing disabilities, cognitive disabilities, and speech disabilities. This disability is also called dyslexia. If you are able to catch this problem at the right time and treat it, you can not only overcome this problem but can also leave many people behind who were competing with you. Knowing about such people will surely boost up your morale and make you believe that you can also be like them by breaking the jinx. Some of the best examples of famous people with learning disabilities are Albert Einstein, Pablo Picasso, Leonardo da Vinci, Thomas Alva Edison, Mozart, and Galileo. The list is endless, and that is a proof in itself that nothing can stop you if you are sure about yourself. You must have self confidence so that you can overcome the problem. In learning disorder, your mind functions differently, and the main thing to keep in mind is that it is working. So what if differently? There are many other mental disabilities and physical disabilities like deafness or hearing disabilities, visual disabilities or handicap that needs proper care and attention to. The lives of such famous people inspire us. There are a number of famous people whose lives are full of trials and tribulations. When we analyze the work of Albert Einstein in the theory of relativity, we do not realize that as a child, Albert Einstein was a very slow learner. This is not an isolated instance. The annals of human history are full of examples of feats achieved by people who suffered from learning disabilities during their childhood. There are many famous people who have excelled in various fields in spite of their physical disabilities, overcoming each and every hurdle in their way. The physical disability is a hurdle to normal existence, and a person has to be mentally strong enough to overcome the barrier of his disability.
They are an inspiration to motivate that disability cannot restrict the rights of the person to excel in the fields that he may desire to. They are not superhumans, but despite being ordinary, they are extraordinary. Here are some famous people with disabilities who have attained heights of success.
Jim Abbott, the Olympic gold medalist in 1988, doesn't have a right hand. Franklin Roosevelt was a polio patient and he used a wheelchair and stood with the aid of steel leg braces. Stephen Hawking, perhaps the greatest living scientist, was suffering from amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, popularly known as low Graig's disease, that tampers with the nerves that control a body's voluntary movements. Beethoven, the legendary music composer, was deaf during the composition of his Ninth Symphony. The famous Hollywood personality Tom Cruise suffers from dyslexia, a learning disability in which the brain alters the way process of written script. Alexander the Great suffered from epilepsy, but he tried to conquer the world. Brian Grazer, popular producer of Hollywood movies, gives a vivid description in his personal accounts of his struggle with dyslexia during childhood. He had a tough time dealing with his learning disability. However, he successfully overcame dyslexia and went on to produce some hit movies, including Apollo 13 and A Beautiful Mind. Anna Bancroft was a famous adventurer. She was the first woman to travel to the North Pole. She had been honored in the National Women's Hall of Fame. She had a problematic childhood as she suffered from acute and prolonged dyslexia. Name Stephen Hawking. Profession astronomical physicist and mathematician. Disability motor neuron disease. Stephen Hawking is one of the greatest astronomical physicists of modern times. He developed motor neuron disease, which worsened with time and left him confined to the wheelchair. His speech too got more slurred. Unfortunately, after an operation, he lost his ability to work altogether. There was a time when he could communicate only by spelling out words with the help of a person by raising his eyebrow when someone pointed to the right letter. After some time, a specially designed computer program called Equalizer allowed him to communicate much better. With the help of this system, he has written a book and dozens of scientific papers. Name Albert Einstein, profession atomic physicist, disability dyslexia. Einstein was the greatest mind of the 20th century. He could not speak till the age of 3. Even as an adult, he found searching for words was hard, and he also had a tough time with schoolwork. He could hardly express himself in written language. Yet, as we all know, he propounded the theory of relativity and came to be known as one of the most brilliant scientists ever. Name John Milton. Profession poet. Disability visually challenged. His physical disability could not stop him from writing. He wrote one of the most famous epics in the world, Paradise Lost. The epic is famous for its remarkable similes and imagery of creating pictures through words. Name Kevin Saunders. Profession Federal Inspector, wheelchair athlete or Paralympian. Disability paralysis. In a grain elevator explosion, Kevin became paralyzed from chest down. The accident broke his back and his lungs collapsed. There was hardly any chance of his survival. However, with faith, courage, and determination, he became world champion wheelchair athlete. He also became the first person with a disability who was appointed to the US President's Council on Physical Fitness and Sports. He found the Wheelchair Success Foundation. This organization provides scholarship funds to disabled people for pursuing higher education to overcome their adversities. Name Suresh Advani. Profession oncologist, a medical practitioner who diagnosed and treated tumors. Disability poliomyelitis, an infection viral disease that affects the central nervous system and can cause permanent paralysis. Dr. Suresh Advani has been in the wheelchair when he contracted polio at the age of 8. He faced many difficulties to pursue his dreams due to his disability. But he never gave up and became one of the prominent oncologists. He is credited to start hematopoietic stem cell transplantation in India. He was honored with the Padma Shri in 2002 and the Padma Bhushan in 2012 for his notable contributions in the field of oncology. He is the first oncologist in India to have successfully done a bone marrow transplant.